but I'm still using the high ground advantage and keeping the engineer shut down. This engineer is pissed off. He's going to get me up at the top, but I flank him from behind by dropping down, and I surprise him like that, forcing my way to sap that teleporter exit again. So far I've been successful at keeping the teleporter exits down. Here I want to uncloak, but I see that demo, so I hold my uncloak off to try to get behind him and backstab. That's a very important realization, because I was about to uncloak, but I realized that the demo would have seen me, so I had to be patient and hold it off. I'm taking a little breather right now. I expect their team to start pushing through because they've just gotten C, and I see this rocket jumping soldier again. I'm very prepared to cloak at this point, and I managed to get away here. I'm at a supreme disadvantage right now. I have to be very careful because I've lost the high ground. I know that heavy sees me, so I do a little mislead with cloak. I cloaked and ran one way, then changed it up to try to convince the heavy that I was going the opposite way from where I went, and that bought me time to escape. I'm getting out of that dangerous low ground area and back up to the safer high ground, which is good. Just playing patiently and see whatever, and waiting for whatever opportunities come my way. Gonna jump the gap. Patience, patience, patience. Here I see that sniper, and he seems to be checking out for spies pretty aggressively, so I have to be careful with cloak here. I let him finish checking for spies before he goes to snipe. You can see him like gunning out, looking out around in the area, and right after he finishes checking for spies, I'm able to stab him. Here I want to get that sentry gun, but I saw that the engineer seemed to have it well guarded, and it's also way down in the low ground, so if I were to jump down there to try to deal with him, I would be putting myself in a very bad position where I would probably die like 10 seconds after killing the engineer or the sentry gun. I've worked my way all the way back to their new spawn, the second spawn area, and I just shot the teleporter exit, and the demo man takes bottle out now because he's so ready to quote-unquote own the spy. And I wanted to have fun with him right now, so I decided to shoot him. I wanted you to see that. I really do play spy for the lulz. I really like messing with people, and I cloak here to see his reaction, but I see that he's running away. The reason that I cloaked there was that I wanted to get a view of what he was doing, because I can't afford to have him come up to the top area, the balcony, without me knowing. I have to be, at all times, I have to be aware of what happens. I blend in for a second and kill the pyro, and have no idea how I escape here. But I'm forced to come in this direction, and I pick up this medic kit. But as I was saying, I used cloak on that demo man back there to get more information about what the demo man was doing, what direction the demo man was heading in, while not exposing myself. So I wanted to see him, but I didn't want to let him see me. That way I'm able to see exactly how he's reacting. Here I picked up this safe position to start sniping buildings, and you can see that demo man saw me sniping the engineers from far away. So I start running because I know he's coming to get me. This is probably the same demo that I was shooting at earlier. Make my way back up to the high ground. And I see that pyro. This is a very important clip, so I want a very important part, so I want to slow it down. I'm shooting at this pyro from the high ground, and there's no way the pyro can get me unless he goes down under the balcony. So here I assumed he was going underneath, up the staircase, so I went for a top stab, but the pyro ended up watching himself from above, and he backed up, and I just fell into his fire instead of getting the overhead stab. So I wanted to slow that down so you could see the thought process. Sometimes when you're up on that balcony, you can shoot at people, and they'll be so convinced that they can go through that staircase without even wondering where the spy is at that point, because they're so certain that you're going to stay up there sometimes. You can really take advantage of that by getting the best of them from high ground. Here I die, but I want to show exactly what happens so you're not confused. I get hit and cloaked by a rocket first, then that heavy triggers the sentry gun, and the sentry gun fires those shells. And because the heavy triggered that, and I just happen to be in the way, the sentry gun kills me. Really hard to predict. I don't know of any way I could have avoided that other than by getting a little bit luckier. Keep in mind all the high ground advantage that I've been using this for in the video. This is sort of like a video response to the other guide that I just made on height advantage. I decided to take this other route because I was just taking heavy spam and other spam from all the other players through that main bottleneck, the last corner. So rather than forcing my way through the bullets, I approached them in a much safer fashion. So, gonna try to keep the engineers from building again. So far, I've been fairly successful in this video at keeping the engineers from doing anything. I was here the engineers come and check stuff out. I make a desperate escape through this window, and then I come behind to flank him in this way. He steps away right as I stab. That ends up being a terrible difficulty sometimes when you're playing Spy, and since the engineer is dead, I sap his sentry, pretend to run around the corner, and then once I break line of sight with that soldier and demo that were coming up, I cloaked once around the corner. That way it created an illusion that I went around the corner, but I actually cloaked without them knowing, and went back the original way that I wanted to with them assuming that I went the other way.
Mission ends in 10 seconds.
I'm caught helpless here by the sniper, so lost that life, but it looks like the round's ending now, so that pretty much concludes this commentary. There are other things that I wanted to talk about, but I'll likely get to that in future commentaries. If you haven't seen the Badwater stuff or the height advantage guide, I highly recommend that you watch it. You can find it on my YouTube channel, and I should have more to come, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.